All right, on page 145, number 10, they give us this probability distribution, but they don't give us all the probabilities. They're leaving out P and Q. And they tell us specifically to write down the two equations involving P and Q. And then, of course, they've given us this mean. And they want us to find out P and Q. Well, number one, if a probability distribution, all the probabilities must add up to 1. So I'm going to start with that. And once I get all that written down, I simplify it, I'm going to end up with P plus Q is equal to 0.42. Now, the next thing is they've given me the expected value, and I know how to figure that out. And so the formula for that is the x's times their probabilities, added all summed up. So if I do that, then I should equal 1.05. But once again, I've got two variables, a P and a Q. But that's okay, because I've got another equation with a P and a Q, and I can solve them simultaneously. So anyway, when I simplify this, I should end up with 2Q minus P is equal to 0.39. Now, there's more than a billion ways to go about this part, but the idea is to get one letter alone and then substitute it back in. In this case, let's just take a look at that top one, and let's get P by itself. That's going to be 0.42 minus Q. And then I'm going to take this 0.42 minus Q, and I'm going to substitute it where that says P. And then all I'm going to do is distribute the negative across 0.42 minus Q, and then solve. And what I'm going to find out is that Q is going to, well, 3Q is going to equal 0.81. And then when I divide, I'm going to find out that Q is equal to 0.27. All right. So now the next step is to find out what P is. Well, if I plug this in over here, I can find out that P is equal to 0.42 minus 0.27. And then P is going to have to be 0.15. All right, so that takes care of P, and that takes care of Q. Now I know what they are. And see, now I can find the variance, because I know that to find the variance, when it's not a binomial distribution, I've got to multiply the squares of the x's times the probabilities. And then sum those all up, and then subtract the mean, which they handed us, 1.05, but it's got to be squared. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I got negative 2 squared times 0.08, and then negative 1 squared times 0.15. And the truth is, I probably wouldn't even do that. I would just go ahead and figure out what they are squared. The 4 times 0.27 and 9 times 0.22. And then when I sum all that up, I find out that it's 3.69. And then when I take away the 1.05 squared, I end up with a grand total of 2.5875, which rounds to 2.59, and that's our variance. All right, hope that helps. Thanks for watching.